Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'm doing a solo playthrough of Nemesis. And in this video, I'm going to do a true solo playthrough, so just single-handed using the Scout. And I've decided this will be the first Nemesis video of many. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I'm all set up now to play a solo game of Nemesis. I am playing true solo today, so just one character here. I'm playing with the Scout. I feel like the Scout kind of likes to be on her own, so that's probably a good fit for solo. I've got two solo objectives here. What else do I need to talk about? So everything here is just from the base game of Nemesis, with the exception of this trait card. Traits were added with the Aftermath expansion, but they were backwards compatible with all the original characters. So I've included the trait card for the Scout because I think it makes it more fun. But there won't be any of the, any of the level 2 rooms from Aftermath or anything else like that. It should all be base game components. A couple other things to point out. One, these little question mark tokens are blanks. They're all dots on the back. So when I need to explore a room, I'll just take that reminder token off, and then I'll draw one of the real ones out of a draw bag. This is not something currently available on Etsy. I just had my friend throw these together for me real quick a couple years ago before we opened our Etsy store. This is one of the things that got us talking about it. But it makes setup go a lot quicker, so I don't have to take all these little cardboard pieces and shuffle them up and pass them out and hide the ones that I don't use. So I'll just draw out of this bag. But this is a nice microfiber black bag. It's got the Brain Bucket Games logo on. You can go buy just these blank bags if you want from Brain Bucket Games. Those are available. They come in multi-packs of 3, 5, and 10. And then I'm also using another Brain Bucket draw bag for the Invader tokens instead of the default one, just because the one that comes with the game is a little bit smaller, and I can't quite fit my hand in it as well, so this one's just a little bit more comfortable. So I'll be using one of these instead of the original draw bags. And then beyond all that, I'm playing this because it was a request by a viewer, so thank you for requesting Nemesis. And in preparation, it had been a long time since I'd played Nemesis, if I'm being honest, and I played it a couple times to kind of refresh myself on the rules and make sure I knew what I was doing. And a couple things. One, I've already got a Nemesis playthrough on my channel from a long time ago. It's a really old one. I played with the medic. I got a few things wrong. So two notable things to point out. These exploration tokens, I incorrectly in my last playthrough put them in the engine rooms and in the cockpit, but you do not put exploration tokens in those rooms. And then secondly, when you reveal a new room and you get the exploration token, the token tells you how many items are in that room. When you play solo, you need to take that number of items in the room, divide it in half and round it up, and that is the number of items you should use. I don't think I did that in my previous playthrough. But anyway, my point was that I played this a few times in order to prepare myself and refresh myself on the rules, and I had really forgotten just how fun this game is. And I've got a lot of Nemesis content. I've got Nemesis and Lockdown and just about all of the expansion content as well. And some of it I've used and some of it I haven't. I've been sitting on it for a while. And so I thought, you know what, this is a lot of fun. This is a good opportunity. I think going into the second quarter of this year of 2025, I will do a Nemesis series similar to what I did at the beginning of this year with Anachrony, where every other week I'll play some Nemesis stuff and I'll do rules refreshers. I'm not going to teach how to play the base game, but I will teach all of the expansions, or at least the ones that I have. So as requested, so this is the A side of this board, the standard side, but I will play with the B side in another video. I'll use the Aftermath expansion stuff. I'll go over Void Seeders, Carnomorphs. I've got a bunch of promotional cards, Blood Test deck and the Crawl deck and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'll go over all of that throughout that series, and I'll do the same thing for Nemesis Lockdown. I'll play that. I'll use both sides of that board. I'll use the various different intruder types that can come with that game, achievement cards, all those sorts of things. So I'll go through all that. I think it'll take me from the beginning of July until roughly Halloween if I do it every other week. And that seems, pretty fitting. So I'm releasing this video. The aim is to release it on Friday the 13th in June of 2025. And then the series will start in July and wrap up probably the week before Halloween, which will be the next time I play the Night Cage as well. So just a little bit of a channel update for you there. But I think we can get started now. So let's go over my character stuff real quick. So the Scout starts with an energy weapon. It's a rifle, 4 ammunition. So nothing too crazy there, but I think that's a good weapon. The 2 quest items are a security key and a motion scanner. So each of them have a cost of 1 action card to activate. The security key must be activated in the cockpit. So I don't know if I'm going to use it, but maybe that gives me a reason to go that direction at the beginning. And the security, 1 use only, takes 1 action. Choose 1 room and close or open any doors in all corridors connected to this room. You may choose which doors to close and which to open. So that could certainly be handy if I happen to have it. And then the motion scanner, again, costs 1 action to activate this one. It says discard energy charge to activate this item. And if I do that, it is a heavy item, so I'll have to hold it in my hand. It cannot be used in combat. And it says discard 1 action card from your hand to re-roll the result of your noise roll, only once per noise roll. That's pretty cool too. That would be great, especially if I can get some duct tape and just duct tape it to the rifle. And then the trait card, which again is from Aftermath, but it is meant to be played with the Nemesis characters. This says, when you perform a search action in any white room, draw 1 item from each item deck, red, green, and yellow. Pick 1 and discard the other 2. So you can't normally mix and match the decks like that. Normally you always draw 2 cards, not 3. So that's pretty cool too. Now that only works with the search action, the way I read that. The Scout has, we're going to shuffle these up anyway. Scout has 1 other special card, Scavenging, which lets you kind of do a search action for an extra cost, and you can search rooms that are already empty. So I don't think that applies to the Scavenging card, even though the trait is called Scavenger. I think it only applies to the search cards. I might be wrong about that, but that's my interpretation, and that's how I'm playing it. One other thing I'm saying out loud because I'm just noticing is that when the game starts, the ship should be going to coordinate B, and I don't have a marker out there, so I will add 1. Let's do that. All right, here's the coordinate marker. We're going to location B, wherever that is. And now let's reveal these 2 solo co-op objectives. We have Destination Earth and Cleanup Crew. So Destination Earth says the ship must reach Earth. And the flavor text is, they've sent us out here to die. They should clean up their own mess. And then Cleanup Crew has 2 options. Either send the signal and the nest must have been destroyed, or send the signal and the ship must have been destroyed. And the flavor text reads, when the briefing mentioned sanitizing the interior, I had something quite different in mind. So we will have to choose one of these to fulfill, and we have to make that choice when the first invader comes on the board. So I think that's it. I think we're good to start. And let me just say at the outset here, if you see any rules mistakes, please let me know in the comments. And if I notice any throughout the edit, I'll put notes on the screen as I usually do. So let's actually take these and move. Let's move everything around, actually. I want to leave room to have the cards in my hand visible so you can see them. So we'll put these here. I'll have to select 1 at some point. And we'll draw the first 5 cards from the action deck, 4, 5, and I'll lay them out here to the left. So I've got Adrenaline, Demolition, Rest, Reconnaissance, and Search. Search is a good one. Reconnaissance is great as well. That one is unique to the Scout, I believe. So Search is a standard action, Rest is a standard action. Pretty sure Demolition is a standard action. You either destroy 1 closed door in a corridor connected to the room you're in, or you place a malfunction marker in the room you're in. And then I think Adrenaline is one of the special or unique cards for the Scout. It says perform a shoot action and draw an action card. That's pretty handy. Or perform an escape movement action and draw an action card. So kind of like a free action there. And then Reconnaissance has a cost of 1. Move to any neighboring room without making a noise roll. So it's basically the same cost as a careful move, but you don't have to place any noise. So I think I'll probably do that. I'm going to discard Demolition as the cost. So I'm playing Reconnaissance, and I'm discarding Demolition as the 1 card cost. So we place those there. And I'm going to actually do something else. I'm going to start by spending the rest card, and I'm going to pick up this starting character corpse. And so that's a heavy object. It goes in my left hand. We might bump into the laboratory, and then I can check for an intruder weakness. I know it's not one of my goals or objectives, but it might still be helpful. So I'm going to do that first, and then I will do this second thing. I will spend Demolition to play Reconnaissance, and I think I'm going to move this way. I'll start working my way towards the cockpit just because I have that quest item. Might as well try and do something like that. So we're going to go here. Reveal this. This is the hatch, so I'll explain that in a moment. Take this placeholder off, and we'll draw a token from this bag. Get them good and mixed up. And we have one item. So here's the item counter. We'll turn this way. So 1 divided by 2, rounded up is 1. And we have the door logo. So we need to close the door in the corridor we just moved through. And this was something I forgot about earlier. This door token that I use is from the lockdown stretch goals. Rather than use the cardboard standee, I like to use these because they're super cool. When the doors are broken, they come apart. And I just think that's really fun. So there's no reason for me not to use these. Doesn't change the gameplay at all. It's just fun. So now we have a closed door there. So first I picked up this corpse, then I did the reconnaissance action, so I was able to move without having to make a noise roll, and I discovered a hatch, which is a white room. Good to know. So I can use this trait, the scavenger trait. But here's the info on the hatch control system. So room action has a cost of 2. You can lock or unlock 1 escape pod. So flip 1 escape pod token to its locked or unlocked side. So that's pretty handy. I've got some options then. If I do Destination Earth, I probably want to, I'll need to make sure the ship survives and gets to Earth, and I'll probably want to be in the hibernatorium at that point. But if I do Cleanup Crew, where I need to send the signal, then either destroy the nest or the ship, then I will probably want to get out with an escape pod, making the hatch control system room important. So that was 2 turns. So at this point, if there were any fire in that room, I would suffer some damage. But now we would just go back around, and now I get another turn. So I'm going to do this search action. So it's got a cost of 0. I just spend the search card. Rotate this number of items down to 0. And now, because I have scavenger and this is a white room, I grab a red card, a yellow card, and a green card and pick from those. So we have energy charge, recon drone, and bandages. Those are the 3 items we can choose from. So the energy charge, I could take that and then discard it to activate the motion scanner, so that's worth considering. On its own, it can fully load ammo in 1 energy weapon, so also really handy, or it can open or close 1 door in any corridor connected to the room you are in. The bandages, these are all 1-use only items. The bandages, for 1 action, you can dress 1 serious wound or heal all light wounds. And then the recon drone, 1 use only, you can check 1 unexplored room tile and look at its exploration token. That's really handy. But I think I'm going to keep the energy charge. I think that has the most uses for me. So I'll keep my items up here. So I could potentially use it with this motion scanner. I'm not going to do it soon because, again, that's a heavy item and my hands are full. So I'd have to, likely drop this character corpse, which I don't really want to do. I'd like to keep it if I could. So if I find some duct tape, I might use that and then duct tape the motion scanner to the rifle. So these other 2 cards get discarded, and that was 1 action. And for my second action, I think I'm just going to pass. I want to keep 1 card in my hand in case of attack. I don't want... Well, I guess I can't be attacked. There's no noise anywhere. So there's no way I'll get attacked during the intruder phase. or the event phase, whatever that second phase is called, the not player phase, I won't get attacked. But if I use this card to move, I could get attacked because I would have a noise roll at that point. So a lot of thinking out loud just to say, I'm going to hold on to this adrenaline card and pass. So that's it for the first round. So yeah, now we go into phase 2, the event phase. The first thing we do is we advance this time track. So it goes from 15 to 14. The self-destruct is not active, so there's nothing to advance there. Then the intruders would attack if there were any in my room. If there were any intruders then in a room with fire, they would take 1 damage each. And now we draw an event card, and that has invader or intruder movement and then the event itself. So here's the top card on that deck. We have short circuit. So if there were any adults, breeders, or queens, they would all move through corridor 4 from wherever they are on the map, but we don't have any invaders out right now. Short circuit says, place a malfunction marker on each explored yellow room with a computer. Luckily, there's only one explored room, and this is a white room. It's not yellow, and there's no computer there either, so we don't need to add any malfunctions. Then remove this event from the game and reshuffle the event deck, including the discard pile. Well, this is the first event card I've drawn, so I'm just going to remove this from the game. I don't really think I need to shuffle the pile because it's still random at this point. And now we have the intruder bag development step. So we're going to draw 1 token out of this bag. And we have an adult, so that means I need to do a noise roll. So I put this back in the bag, shuffle it back up, set it aside, and do 1 roll for noise. And that is a 1. So I need to add a noise token in corridor 1. And that's a pretty good place for it. I don't think I really intended to go that way. So that's it. Now we start the player phase for the next round. I draw back up to 5 cards. I have 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 card left in my deck. We've got interruption, basic repairs, search, and scavenging. Okay. Interruption is really of no use if there's no other players, so that's a free 1 to spend. Basic repairs cost 2 to discard a malfunction marker from the room you're in, or repair or break the engine in the engine room you're in. So that's pretty expensive for repairs. I don't plan to use that right now, so I can probably keep moving now. But actually, I think I might do scavenging. I'm going to spend interruption as the 1 card cost to do scavenging. And again, that says in full, reduce the item counter by 1. You can perform this action even if the item counter is at 0. Draw 2 item cards of the same color as this room's color. Pick 1 and discard the other. So I can pick any, this being a white room, and I don't think that this scavenger trait applies to the scavenging card. I don't think. Let me know what you think in the comments, but that's the way I'm playing it. So I think I need to pick 1 color, either red, yellow, or green, draw 2 cards. And again, I can do this with this card, even though the item counter is at 0 in this room. And so I think I'm going to choose yellow. So I draw 2 yellow cards. We've got fire extinguisher and tools. Fire extinguisher is a heavy item, but it's a really good item. So it's for 1 use only for a cost of 1 action card. You can discard a fire marker from the room you're in, or use it on 1 intruder in the room you're in and it retreats. That's pretty cool. And then tools are versatile for 1 action cost. It's 1 use only. Either discard a malfunction marker from the room you're in, so cheaper than basic repairs for this character at least, or you can repair or break the engines in the engine room you're in, or open or close 1 door in any corridor connected to the room you're in. Well, I think I would like the fire extinguisher, but I still don't want to necessarily drop this. But I guess I could double back and get it if I had to. I probably won't. It's not a quest thing that I need to do. I don't know, the tools is so versatile. I might use that as well. I don't know, tough decision. I think I'll keep the tools. Just gives me a lot more options, even though the fire extinguisher is so useful. So that was 1 action. I went scavenging. And for my second action, I think I am going to do a basic move. So I'm going to spend basic repairs. And I'm going to move from here to here, still working my way towards the cockpit. So let's reveal this room. We have the laboratory. So I go through corridor 4 here. I need to reveal this exploration token. So I draw 1 from the bag. Watch it be fire now that I discarded the fire extinguisher. And this is my second action. Let's see. Come on. Just one. There we go. Ooh, we have silence. So that means I don't need to roll for noise. There's going to be one item in this room. Here's the counter. So we'll turn this to 1. And there we go. We're in the laboratory. So this worked out pretty well. The laboratory's basic action or room action is a cost of 2 action cards. Analyze 1 object. This action may only be performed if one of the following objects is in the room. For example, carried by the character, a character corpse, an intruder carcass, or an egg. And then you discover 1 corresponding intruder weakness card. So I'm glad I held on to this corpse token because now I can use it. So that was 2 actions. I did the scavenge and then I moved, but I can always do a free action to drop. So I'm just going to drop this corpse here in the laboratory. So now that's freed up one of my hands. That's my 2 actions, so my turn ends. I don't take any damage, there's no fire, so it comes back around to me again. And I don't think I'm in any particular rush right now. So I'm going to play this search card, take a normal search action in the laboratory. So let's turn the item counter so we go down to 0 items. And draw 2 of the green item cards. And we have bandages and synthetic food. I don't think either of these are great. Bandages, again, dress 1 serious wound or heal all light wounds. Synthetic food, draw 2 action cards from your deck. I think I will take the bandages, please. Put the synthetic food on the bottom of the deck. And I notice that the 3 items I have all have craft symbols on them, and they're all different. Is there anything I can make? Looks like I could combine the tools and the energy charge to make a taser. And that's it. Okay, well, I don't know that I've really done much of any crafting in this game, but the taser is kind of nice. Its effect is basically it's an item, so it's not clogging up your left and right hands. It's not a heavy item, it's just a regular item, and you can use it to make an intruder retreat. So that is useful. But I think for now, I did a search. My second action is just going to be to pass because I don't have enough cards to take the room action, and I would like to do that before I leave. So I am passing. Now we go into the event phase, and so we advance this time track. There are no intruders to attack. Or to attack me, I should say, and the intruders don't take any fire damage because that doesn't apply. So now we draw an event card, and we have egg protection. So again, any breeders or queens would move through corridor 2. Not applicable now. Egg protection. Resolve an encounter for each character who is in the nest or is carrying an intruder egg. I'm not in the nest. I don't have an egg. I don't have to worry about that. So now we just do bag development. So we draw 1 token from here, and I will be safe regardless of what happens. There we go, and I got a creeper, so that gets replaced with a breeder token. So here's the breeder token, we drop that in the bag, mix it all up, and this comes out. So now it's back to me, I dropped 5 cards, I have 1 in my hand, here's a second, and now I need to shuffle my discard pile. Easier to shuffle it this way because I've got them sleeved. Just kind of mash, shuffle them into each other a little bit. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and here's my deck. So I still have adrenaline. I drew suppressive fire, which is a special card for the scout. I've got demolition, reconnaissance, and basic repairs. So suppressive fire, 0 cost, discard 1 ammo, move yourself or 1 other chosen character within your room, if they agree, without triggering an intruder attack. So between suppressive fire and adrenaline, I think those will help me get out of bad situations. And so that was part of the reason I didn't take the fire extinguisher, and part of the reason I'm also not going to make a taser, I don't think. So I've got a couple cards that can kind of do that. So for now, I'm going to spend 2 cards. I think it's going to be demolition and basic repairs. Let's discard those 2 to take the room action of the laboratory and scan that character corpse to reveal this character corpse associated invader weakness. So this one says, the way of moving. Intruders other than the queen and breeders cannot destroy closed doors. Ooh, that's pretty cool. That is more incentive for me to get that security key, which can close doors. Neat. All right, now let's see if I remember that when the time comes. But that's really cool. I'm excited about that. So for my second action, I am going to do I'll do a reconnaissance. I was going to do a careful move, but I'm going to, for the one cost, I'm going to use adrenaline. I'll keep suppressive fire. Get rid of adrenaline and do reconnaissance. So move to any neighboring room without making a noise roll. I'm doing great on noise so far. So let's go to the cockpit. And that is the end of my turn. So then it would pass on to other players. Now it comes back to me. I start a new turn. But just as a refresher, I'm in the cockpit and it's functioning. So the special room action here is flight control. So it costs 2 cards, and you can either check the coordinates or set the destination. So when you check the coordinates, you secretly look at the coordinates card. After looking at it, place it back on the board. You don't need to tell the truth about what you saw. You know, obviously this is if you don't know, this is a semi-co-op game by default. You can play full co-op and obviously solo, but a lot of these rules are set up for semi-co-op. So, you know, I've got this objective card that says that, you know, the ship's got to make it to Earth. Other people might secretly have cards that say it's got to go to Mars or something, so you can kind of lie about the coordinates. So the second action is to set the destination. Move the destination marker to the chosen space of the destination track. And a couple of notes, you cannot change the destination when any of the characters are already hibernating, and the player has to remember the coordinates that they've checked. They can't look at the card because that's a separate action. And at the end of the game, if the ship was not destroyed earlier, the coordinate card is revealed. The position of the destination marker indicates the destination of the ship among the 4 available on the card. And special note, you cannot perform a search action in this room. So that's everything you need to know about the cockpit. And so I think it's going to come back to me. I pass now. And now, I plan on spending my next turn here, and I'll spend 2 cards to check the coordinates, and then if needed, spend 2 cards to change the destination, because I probably want to go to Earth. Although, maybe rather than passing, I could activate this security key because I'm in no danger right now of being attacked, so I don't really need to hold on to this at the moment. So, okay, so I took my 2 turns. I moved here. What did I do? What the heck did I do? Basic repair. Oh, I did the laboratory action, and then I did reconnaissance. Those were my two actions for my first turn. Turn 2, I will spend this card for this quest item, which has a cost of 1 card. Security key. Activate this item in the cockpit. So I flip it over. Again, it's not a heavy item. Cannot be used in combat. It has a cost of 1. It's 1 use only. Choose 1 room and close or open any doors in all corridors connected to this room. You may choose which doors to close and which to open. That's amazing. So if I'm trying to get off this ship or go into hibernation, I can use that to like close all the doors first, since most of the invaders won't be able to get through the doors. So that was my first action, was to activate that quest item. The second action is then to pass. And now we are going to go into the event phase. So we advance the tracker, intruders attack, intruders take fire damage, then we draw an event card. First we do the movement portion. Adults and breeders would go through corridor 1. Now bulkheads open. Open all doors except destroyed doors. So this is going to come off the map, and then this goes in the event discard pile. And now we do bag development. So we're going to draw 1 token out of this bag, knowing that there is a breeder token now. And we got a, what is that? Larva. So we remove this and add an adult to the bag. So, whoops, 1 adult token goes in the bag. Let's mix it up now. And now we go into the next round. So I'm going to draw up to 5 cards. Not draw up to 5, but draw up until I have 5. 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we have scavenging, search, rest, search, and interruption. So I'm going to spend, none of these really help me to hold on to. I'll spend interruption and search to check the coordinates. And if the coordinates happen to line up where B is Earth, then I won't have to change them. Let's flip this over. And hey, look at that. B is Earth, or Earth is B. Mars is D, deep space is C, Venus is A. So we're going to Earth. Put that back, and that means I don't have to stay here and spend another 2 cards on another room action. Now, the other thing to note is if we end up keeping this objective, Destination Earth, we do need at least 2 of the 3 engines to be working. So I'll have to work my way down to that side of the ship and check some engines or get lucky. Whereas if I do the cleanup crew option, that objective, I'm going to need to send the signal either way and then either destroy the nest or blow up the ship. So then I'll probably want to break some engines. So I suppose what I need to do is keep moving. So I think I'm going to spend the scavenging card and the rest card to take a careful movement. And I'm going to start going this direction, I guess, towards engines, right? So I'm going to go to this room. And this is surgery, so I'll explain that in a moment. Let's replace this blank exploration token with one of the cardboard ones from the bag. And we have, malfunction, but that says 2 items in the room. I am playing solo, so that is actually going to be 1. Half of 2, rounded up if necessary. So 1 item in surgery, place the scout here, and here's the malfunction marker, so I cannot use that room action. But if I happen to repair it, the room action for surgery is a cost of 2 cards, perform a surgery procedure. So scan all contamination cards from your action deck, your hand, and your discard pile. So that's useful. Remove all infected cards, and if you have a larva on your character board, remove it. Then after scanning, your character suffers 1 light wound and you automatically pass. Shuffle all your action cards, including those in your hand and discard pile, and place them as a new action deck. So if you get a larva on your board or if you start building up a lot of contamination cards, that is a critical room to have. But I have now done a careful move, so I need to place a noise token, and I can place it anywhere I like because I did the careful move. So 1 is going to go here, but I think that's the direction I need to go next, so I probably don't want to fill that corridor with noise. 2 or 3 is the technical corridors, which don't have any noise now, but there's a higher likelihood of rolling a 2 or a 3 because there's 2 options. So I think I'm going to put it in corridor 4. That's where the noise is going to be. That's the least likelihood of me causing an encounter. So that was 2 actions. I took the look at coordinates action and then a careful move action. So that's the end of the turn. Now it comes back to me. I can start a new turn. And so there is I think 20% chance that I will have an encounter in the event phase if I have to roll for noise. It's possible in bag development I won't have to roll at all. So I don't want to get caught with no cards, but also search is not a very useful card to have if there is an encounter. So I'm wondering if maybe I should just search while I'm here and get a green item. But you know what? I don't think I will because if there is an encounter, a green item won't help me. If I happen to be in the armory or something, maybe it would make more sense to search. So, okay, I'm just going to pass. So we go into the event phase. The time track goes down to 11. Again, there's no intruder attacks, no intruder fire damage. So we draw the top event card. And any adults, breeders, or queens would move through corridor 2. And now we have life support failure. Ooh, this one's not going to be good. Place a malfunction marker in each explored green room. So this one's already malfunctioning, thankfully. So there's only 1 more green room. So the laboratory is malfunctioning now. Good thing I already used it. Of course, I could, in theory, repair any of these malfunctions. There's 2 malfunction tokens out now. There are 8 total in the game. If you ever need to place one and there are no more, then the ship explodes. It loses all integrity. So that is a potential failure point. And then this card says remove this event from the game and reshuffle the event deck, including the discard pile. So this one goes out of the game. And then here's the rest of the deck. Discard pile had bulkheads open and egg protection. Those 2 both go. Just put them in the middle here somewhere. Back in the deck. Shuffle it up a little. And I still need to do bag development. So let's do that. So we just don't want to have to do a noise roll ideally at all, or if we do have to do one, we don't want to roll a 4. So we've got, that is the queen. Okay, so if I remember correctly, that's not too bad in this particular scenario. So if there are any characters in the nest room, place the queen mini in that room and resolve an encounter. Well, I haven't even found the nest yet, so I'm okay on that front. If there are no characters in the nest, or if its location has not been discovered yet, add an additional intruder egg to the intruder board, and return the queen token to the intruder bag. So as far as I'm concerned, that's actually a great outcome. So we're going to add one egg here to the intruder board. And those eggs are basically like the HP of the nest. So when you're in the nest, this queen goes back in here, shuffle this up. When you're in the nest, you can try and recover an egg, and you kind of like think of those like being just stuck to the floor, all goopy like. And when you're in the nest and you recover an egg, you like rip it out of there, and then you've got it either in your hand, you can drop it, and even if you drop it into the nest, it's like it's been removed, so you've kind of done some damage to the nest. So if that board's ever empty of eggs, the nest is destroyed, even if there's eggs on the nest tile, as I understand it. So yeah, we did our bag development, so we're going to shuffle up this action card deck because it's empty right now, and I'm going to draw 4 more cards so that I've got 5 in my hand to start the next turn. And I know I've got a search card, so I could search for a green item in this room. I don't know if I need it, though. Okay, that's shuffled. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Still got 5 here. No contamination. I'm doing pretty well. No invaders at this point. I've got scavenging, interruption, demolition, and rest. Okay. I don't have the reconnaissance card though, and I want to do some moving. So I'm going to spend 2 cards to do a careful movement. I think I'm going to do interruption and demolition. Spend these 2. And now I'll do a careful move into this number 2 room here, which is the cabins. And so let's grab an exploration token. Draw 1 from here. And we get malfunction. Okay, so these are starting to pile up. That's not great. 1 item in this room, so we need to rotate it like so. And that was a careful movement, so I need to add a noise token to any adjacent corridor, and I think I'll do that here. I don't plan on going back that way. I want to leave myself the ability to try and get to the surgery place if I need to, but really I'd rather avoid that. So that was 1 action, and my intent was to do another careful move, but I think instead, because I'm on a white room, I've got the scavenger trait, my second action is going to be to search. And then I get to draw a red, a yellow, and a green item. So let's take a look at those and then rotate this down to 0. So we have an evacuation key, chemicals, and clothes. So again, all 1 use only, 1 action cost. The evacuation key says, if you are in an evacuation section room, lock or unlock one of the escape pods in this evacuation section, which might be useful because the hatch controls are way back over there. I guess I could go through the hibernatorium to get them without too much difficulty, but who knows where those where those evacuation section rooms are on the map. So that might help me to get out of here. Chemicals says fully load ammo in a flamethrower. I don't have a flamethrower. I'd have to build one first. And then clothes lets you either discard a slime marker or dress 1 serious wound. I think the evacuation key is the winner here. So I'm going to keep that. That just gives me the ability to escape in a pod if I need to. So I'm just trying to keep my options open. I'm still on track to go to Earth, and I can get there in the hibernation chamber. I've got sort of a plan for that using the security key, but now I can also do that using the escape pod, so long as I make sure that the engines are functioning. And then for cleanup crew, I still would need to send the signal first, so I got to find the room that does that. But then I think it's a lot easier to blow up the whole ship than to just destroy the nest. So I'd probably want to do that, and that would mean I would have to evacuate using a pod as well. But that was my whole 2 actions for that turn. And while we're standing here, let's see what the cabins do. So the cabins says, catch a breath. When your character is in this room at the start of a new round and there are no intruders there, draw 1 additional action card up to 6 instead of 5. The passive feature of this room does not work if there's a malfunction token in this room. So there is no dedicated room action, and wouldn't you know it, there's a malfunction marker, and I don't think I'm going to repair it. I could use tools to repair it, but it just doesn't seem worth it because I may need to repair engines later. But I also have the option to do scavenging, and I could get some more items while I'm here, but maybe I'm better off doing that at the start of the next turn. So yeah, I'm going to pass. I'm going to choose to discard rest, and I'm going to hold on to scavenging. And so now we go into the event phase. So this marker goes down 1. Again, no intruders on the board, so we can skip those parts, draw the next event card. And we might see a repeat because we've shuffled the deck. We have egg protection. Oh, this might be a repeat. So a breeder or a queen would move through corridor 2. Doesn't apply. And then resolve an encounter for each character who is in the nest or carrying an intruder egg. So I got off pretty lucky again. And now we do bag development. And I've got to say, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but this is a game where the end does not matter to me nearly as much as the journey. So I don't know why I thought of that now. Maybe I'll talk more about that at the end. I pulled the blank token. So during bag development, if you draw the blank token, add 1 adult intruder token into the bag. If there are no adult intruder tokens available, nothing happens, and then return the blank token to the bag. So we're just going to take an adult token here, take the blank, put them back in the bag. So this bag's developing as it does, but I haven't had to do very many noise rolls, and that's been pretty lucky so far. So new round, timer's on 10. I dropped to 5 cards. If this malfunction marker wasn't here, I would get 6. So I've got 1 already, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 remaining. So I kept scavenging, and now I have reconnaissance, suppressive fire, basic repairs, and adrenaline. So I think I am going to start with scavenging for 1 action. So I'm going to spend basic repairs. Is that wise? I don't know. I'm doing it. Basic repairs, scavenging. So the counter in this room is already at 0. But that's okay. Reduce the item counter by 1. You can perform this action even if the item counter is at 0. Draw 2 item cards of the same color. So I think I'm going to take yellow. Maybe I can find another fire extinguisher or something. So I've got chemicals and duct tape. Ooh, duct tape is nice. So both 1 use only, 1 action cost. Chemical says fully load ammo in the flamethrower. Oh, I think I've already seen one of those. Yep. Duct tape, you have 3 options. Either discard a malfunction marker from the room you are in, or repair or break the engine in the engine room you are in, or use to add 1 heavy item to 1 heavy item in your character's hand, effectively carrying 2 heavy items in 1 hand. So yeah, I'm going to keep the duct tape. So I've got duct tape and tools. I could repair a couple engines, put the chemicals back in the pile. Now that also makes me wonder about getting motion scanner though. I would spend the energy charge and then duct tape it to my rifle, which might not really even be necessary anymore. I don't know that I need to carry anything else heavy in my left hand. Discard 1 action card from your hand to re-roll the result of your noise roll, once per noise roll. I mean, that's super handy as well, but I don't have to do it right away. I have that option now at any point. So I think for my second action, I'm going to do reconnaissance. I'm just going to get out of here. I'm going to keep moving. So reconnaissance, I'm going to spend adrenaline. I'll keep suppressive fire. That's a good one to have. So adrenaline goes as my cost for reconnaissance. Move to any neighboring room without making a noise roll. So I'm going to keep moving along here to this room. And this is the emergency room, okay? So you can treat your wounds there. Let's grab, get rid of this marker and grab an exploration token out of this bag. And we have this one, okay? So this one's got the door on it. So we close the door in the corridor we just came from. And it has 2, so we're going to divide that in half, round up. Wait, there's the counter. So there's 1 green item in this room. There we are. Get rid of this token, and let me tell you what the emergency room does. So you can spend 2 cards to take the room action here to treat your wounds, dress all your serious wounds, or heal 1 of your dressed serious wounds, or heal all of your light wounds. So yeah, that all makes sense. And now my move action's complete. I did it with reconnaissance, so I don't make a noise roll. And that was the end of turn 1. So then it would, go around the table, comes back to me, my turn again. And again, part of the reason I keep emphasizing why the end of each turn is because if I were in a room that was on fire, I would take an injury. There are other things that can happen at the end of each turn, so I just want to be aware of that in case it triggers anything. But I think I'm going to pass, and I'll hold on to Suppressive Fire. So we go into the event phase now. This is remarkably under control, I've got to say, of any game of Nemesis I've ever played. So we're going to move this time tracker down. Again, no invaders for attacking. Invaders are not on the board to take any fire damage. So now we draw the top event card from the deck. And any creepers, breeders, or queens would move through corridor 2. And now we have hunt. Move every adult intruder not in combat to a neighboring room with a character if possible. If there are several rooms to choose from, move the adult intruder to the room with the lowest room number. So it's kind of faint here, but this is room number 9 I'm in. Here's 8, 4. The cockpit is room number 1. So that's what that means. I don't have any of that to resolve, so this just goes in the event discard pile, and now we do bag development. So we're going to draw a token out of this bag. Bag's getting a little heavier. There's more tokens in here than when we started. We've got an adult. Okay, that means I need to make a noise roll. So this goes back in the bag. Luckily, there's no noise for this room. Corridors 1 and 2 are empty, 4 is empty, and 3 is the technical corridor, which is also empty. But if there were any noise in the technical corridor, that would be, located up there if that wasn't clear. So let's do a noise roll. And we got a 2. Not really what I wanted because I'm going to be going this direction and it's going to be tough to get through there noise-wise unless I get that reconnaissance card back. But that's it for the event phase. Now we're back to the player phase. Draw up to 5 cards. I've got 1. Here's 2 as a search card. And I'll need 3 more out of here. Hopefully I get reconnaissance so that I can move without making a noise roll. Otherwise the noise is going to get pretty rough in that area. Okay, that's pretty well shuffled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have scavenging, adrenaline, and search. No reconnaissance. So we've got 2 search cards. So I think I've got to do a series of moves. I think I got to move real quick so I don't get stuck and end up drawing an invader. So if I do a careful move here, I'll place the noise here. And then if I end my turn there and I have to roll, then I'm really in trouble. So I think I need to careful move here, place a noise, and then careful move again and place another noise. That's still going to leave me in a pretty rough spot. I guess I could also careful move to here, place a noise, and then just a regular move to here, hope I get lucky and keep running. I don't know if I love that either, though. So, okay, let's discard scavenging and search, which is kind of a waste, and I've got another search, but, the scout is just so good at getting stuff, as evidenced by all my item cards here. But I'm going to discard 2 cards to do a careful move to this room. So this is the storage room, okay. So the storage room says, search for an item. As a room action, you can draw 2 cards from the item deck of a chosen color, either red, yellow, or green, and then pick 1 card, put the other at the bottom of the deck. So really great place to be searching for items. And then by default, the items in this room are red. Now let's grab an exploration token. And we have slime. Oh, that's too bad. So I'll put a marker here. I'm covered in slime. 3 items in the room, so divided by 2, rounded up. That's 2 items in this room. And the slime means whenever I would gain a silence, either by rolling or on a token, I should treat it as danger instead. And I still need to place a noise marker, so obviously going to put that there. And now I think I need to keep moving, even though that'd be a great place for the scout to camp out. So I will spend adrenaline and search to do another careful move and come here. And this room is the generator. Oh, okay. So that's where you can start and stop the self-destruct sequence. And now we grab the exploration token from the bag. And we have malfunction. So we place the marker, one item in this room, okay? And that's going to make it tough to start and stop the self-destruct sequence with the malfunction markers. That's the fourth one out there. There's 1, 2, 3, and one back there is 4. So 4 malfunctions. That's getting to be a lot. And then this room also has a computer that is sometimes matters for some characters or for some situations. But when the room is malfunctioning like this, you treat it as if there's not a computer. And now I need to place a noise token, and I'm going to place that here because this is a careful move, so I get to choose. I'm going to place it there in corridor 2. And that's the end of my turn. Now it comes back around and I get a new turn. And so I've already spent adrenaline. Suppressive fires here. How many cards are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will have neither of those in my hand next turn if I spend this. But I'm thinking it might make sense to do a regular move to go here. And then I'll just have to place one noise. I'll do a noise roll. 2, 3, 1, 4. They're all empty. So I should be in okay shape, probably better shape than I am currently. Or if nothing else, it couldn't be any worse unless I happen to roll noise or danger. So I'm going to, what am I going to do? Well, I guess I'd rather get caught here with an attack with suppressive fire in my hand than get caught here with an attack without suppressive fire. Because I really need to start checking these engines. Because I'm assuming I'm going to do Destination Earth at this point. I still haven't found a way to send the signal. I could destroy the ship using the generator, but I've got to repair it first. So until I find the room where I can send the signal, that means I would have to find it, send the signal, double back to here, and then still find an escape pod. I don't know where any of those are either. So yeah, probably better with Destination Earth at this point. Okay, so I'm going to just pass then and keep suppressive fire in my hand and hope I get lucky here. So this time track moves now. Now we've crossed this line, so the Hibernatorium opens up. It's possible to hibernate now, and that is one potential path for me to get out of here. If I want this to reach Earth, I know the coordinates are already set to Earth. As long as I can fix the engines, then it's just going to be a matter of either getting to the Hibernatorium or getting into an escape pod, whatever's most convenient. So anyway, I've moved this marker. Now invaders would attack. They would take fire damage. Now we draw an event card, and Breeders and the Queen would move through corridor 1, and now we have regeneration. Each intruder on the board heals 2 injuries. All right, we don't have to deal with that. That's nice. Again, this is just going remarkably well. So now I need to draw a token from the bag, and this is where things might fall apart. Or I might get really lucky, and I would not mind continuing to be lucky. I'm pretty okay with that too. We have an adult. Okay, so we put that. So I don't know if I showed that token. Here's the adult token. So I put it back in the bag, and now I need to do a noise roll. 2, 3, or 4 will cause an encounter. 2, 3, or 4. 1 will just add a noise there, and then either danger or silence will both be treated as danger because I'm slimed, and that would just add a noise token there as well. So 2, 3, or 4 is going to be an encounter. 1 noise or danger will just add a noise token to the number 1 corridor. There's a 60% chance that it's an encounter. So let's give it a roll and see what happens. 2. Okay, we've got an encounter. So we're going to remove the noise tokens from corridors 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to see who shows up. The only chance of not having an encounter now is drawing the 1 blank token from here. And if I do that, then we just add noise to every corridor. So that'd probably be preferable. We've got an adult, okay? So we're going to flip this over. Oh, and it's a 4. So I have less than 4 cards in my hand, so that means they get to do an attack immediately. So this does not go back in the bag. This comes out. So here's one of the minis. Mine are, what do they call it? Sun drop. They're pre-washed, so I've got a little bit of color on it. I like that. So here's the adult. They are to scale. So that's somewhat frightening. So the adult is here, and now immediately I need to choose one of these solo objectives to keep, and I'm going to keep Destination Earth. I'm just going to try and go to Earth at this point. I'm closer to this than this, and I need to make the choice. So cleanup crew goes away, and now we need to draw an invader or an intruder attack card. So we get this one, and it only has the symbols here for the breeder and the queen, which means it's a miss. So that's good for me. So that was Frenzy. That's a miss. And that was bag development. So now it's my turn. I draw up to 5 cards. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got interruption, demolition, basic repairs, and rest. What am I going to do? Well, yeah, I'm going to do suppressive fire. So that's 0 card cost, which is nice. It says discard 1 ammo. So I'm going to fire 1 ammo from my rifle. And now move yourself or one other chosen character within your room if they agree. I'm just by myself. So move yourself without triggering an intruder attack. So that's really nice. So now I just do a regular move. I go to here. I do need to roll for noise. And I'll be safe no matter what I roll. But hopefully it's not... Oh, yeah, danger or silence would be bad. So I guess 20% chance that this will be a big problem. 1. Okay, I'll take a 1. That's probably the ideal result. All right, that was 1 action. Now I can take another action. And I'm going to do the room action for the engines, I think. So the room action is you spend 2 cards and check the engine. So check the engine status in this room. Secretly look at the top engine token. You don't need to tell the truth about what you saw. The top engine token indicates the current state of the engine. So it'll either be damaged or functioning. So it cost me 2 cards just to find out, or I could just spend 1 card and get rid of duct tape and do the repair action and then repair it if it's broken. And if it's not broken, then I just kind of wasted the duct tape or the tools. That's an option as well. So yeah, I think I'd like to try and hold on to the items. I'll try and hold on to items. So I'm going to spend the rest card and the demolition card. No, I'm going to get rid of, I'll get rid of demolition and interruption. I really don't need those. Spend those 2 cards and now I can look. And yeah, it was damaged. Damaged one's on top, working one on the bottom. So we now put it back how it was. And now at least I know it's damaged. And now I can spend another action to fix it. So that was the end of that round. Now we come back around, I get a new turn. And I think I'll hold on to tools and get rid of duct tape because tools can allow me to close doors and that could be really useful. So I'll get rid of duct tape as my action. I've got to get rid of a card to do that. So I'll get rid of the rest card. And I am discarding duct tape to repair or break the engine in the engine room I'm in. So we'll put the working one on top, right? Yep, working. So engine 1 is working. We need 2 out of 3 engines to be working for the ship to make it to Earth. So I've just got to get over to one of those and make sure that it's working. So that was 1 action. And I think I want to get away from this intruder. I think I'm going to take a second action. I'm going to spend basic repairs to move. So I'm going to do a basic move to here. And this is, oh no, the nest. Oh, that's a bad place to be. You don't want to end your turn there. So the nest does have an action. It's you spend 2 cards to take an egg. And you take 1 egg token from the intruder board, and after that, perform a noise roll. The egg tokens are placed on the intruder board, or the egg tokens placed on the intruder board represent the eggs in the nest. When you take or destroy eggs from the nest, take them from the intruder board. Note that taking an egg from the intruder board costs 2 actions, while picking up an egg token from the map costs 1 action. When there are no more eggs in the nest, parenthetically, they have all been carried away or destroyed, the nest is considered destroyed. Place 1 injury marker in the nest to represent this. If there is a fire marker in a room containing uncarried eggs, destroy 1 uncarried egg during the fire damage step of the event phase. Note, you cannot perform any search action in this room. Remember that an egg is a heavy object. What else? Destroying eggs. Whenever your character is in a room with any uncarried eggs, which means not carried by any character, you can try to destroy these eggs. Resolve this action as a shoot action or a melee action. Each injury of any type destroys 1 egg. In the case of a melee action, the character does not draw a contamination card or suffer wounds if they miss, blah, 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 blah. You could throw grenades, Molotov cocktails. After every single attempt to destroy an egg, you must perform a noise roll. Okay, a lot of stuff there. I think the important thing before I draw the exploration token is that you may never place a malfunction marker in the nest. So now would be a good time to draw a malfunction marker, get it out of the bag with no effect. Let's not draw fire, because then I'll be stuck here. We have, oh, danger. That's real bad. So if there were an intruder in an adjacent room, they would immediately come in here. So luckily that's not the case. But in lieu of that, you then add noise to every corridor surrounding this room. So I am totally surrounded by noise and in the nest. This is maybe the worst thing that could have happened. And I don't roll for noise now because I drew the danger. So that replaces the noise roll. So now I'm out of cards, so I have to pass. So this is a terrible situation to be in going into the event phase. So things are heating up. So let's move the time track down to 7. And if there's anyone in this room with this intruder, then this intruder would attack. And if there was any fire in this room, the intruder would be injured. Now we draw an event card. Let's hope it doesn't kill me. And we have a malfunction. Okay, so first, adults and breeders, and we've got an adult here, move through corridor number 2. So this adult is going to go through corridor number 2 into this unexplored room. And now there's malfunction. Place a malfunction marker in the explored room with the lowest number. So that is going to be the cockpit, which is always explored by default. So basically, it's if the cockpit doesn't have a malfunction, it does now. Then shuffle this card back into the events deck. So this is malfunction number 5 out of 8. If we need a 9th, then we lose immediately. So we take this card, put it back in the event deck, shuffle it up. It did not say to include any previously discarded cards, so those are not going back in, just this one. And if we happen to draw it again, I guess what's the next room with the lowest number? This one here. The hatch control system is room number 6. All right, so there's our shuffled event deck. Now we need to do bag development. And this is where it could also get very dicey. The worst case scenario would be drawing a queen. Best case scenario would be drawing a blank token. I'd be happy to draw a larva or a crawler as well, because then I wouldn't have to roll for noise. Alrighty. If I have to roll for noise, there will be an encounter regardless, because there's noise in every corridor if I roll a number. And if I roll danger, then this adjacent adult will come here. And if I roll silence, because I'm slimed, it's treated as danger. So I don't want to have to roll. We have an adult. All right, that means roll for noise. So we put this back in. And so basically if I roll noise or silence, this guy will come attack me again. If I roll any other number, I'll have to draw from a bag. Draw from the bag to see what attacks. So what do we got? A 2. Okay. So I can't put another noise token there, so I've got to draw again. Who's going to attack me? Oh man, I hope it's not a larva. I didn't keep a card. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We're going to have another adult, and it has a 3 on it. I have no cards, so that's less than 3. So I'm going to get attacked by another adult now. So I'll grab a different model for the mini. There's 4 different models, 2 of each. There's 8 of these adult models. So I'll grab this one here, kind of kneeling down. All right, so this guy shows up in the nest. We do get to clear this noise. Looking on the bright side. Remove the draw bag. And now I get attacked because I have no cards in hand. So I draw a card and I get scratch. So adult symbol is on there, so I am going to get hit. This says the character suffers 1 light wound and gets a contamination card. I think all things considered, that was a pretty good outcome. So I take 1 light wound and I get my first contamination card. So that goes here. And I discard this now. And now it's the player phase. So I draw up, I get 1 card, which is Reconnaissance. I can't use it because I'm in combat. So I've got to shuffle these. I've got 1 contamination card in here, gunking everything up. Now, don't forget that adults cannot get through doors. In fact, they cannot destroy doors, so that's pretty important. So it's always possible I could use my tools to move into there and close the door behind me. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, but it's an option. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what do I have? Search, scavenging, demolition, and basic repairs. So I want to get out of here, I think. I'm not really interested in trying to fight. I don't need to do any searching or scavenging. Those are pretty useless. So, oh, but I can't do a careful move, of course. So let's just get rid of scavenging. That's not going to help me at all right now to do a move action. And so I'm going to move out of here, and this invader does get to attack me on the way out, so I've got to draw an intruder attack card. I keep calling them invaders. I just played I played Spirit Island yesterday, which just released while I was playing this, and so I keep calling them invaders instead of intruders. You know what I mean, though? So here's the intruder attack card. We have tail attack. This only applies if it's the queen, so I got lucky there. I was not in battle with the queen. So that's a miss. I get to move. Go into this engine room. I do have to make a noise roll. As long as I get a number, I'll be okay. So 80% chance of not being in battle now. Oh, I got danger. That means this guy's going to follow me. So I'm still in combat. So I think I want to get the heck out of here rather than try and check on that engine. So I don't want to fight this guy. So I'm going to spend demolition right here so I can do another move. Oh, that means I'm going to get attacked again. So we have transformation. This is only for crawlers, creepers. What are they called? Creepers. So again, a miss. Very lucky. Let's hope I get lucky on my dice roll too, or that I can close a door behind me with this exploration token. But this room is the fire control system. Okay. Let's grab the exploration token next. The door would be just awesome, but I think I've drawn that twice. I don't know how many door tokens there are. I don't know if there's another one in here or not. Feels like there's a lot of tokens in the bag. Probably whatever it is going to be bad. We have malfunction. Oh no. All right, those are getting pretty low. Malfunction goes there. 2 items, round it down. So 1 item. And I have to do a noise roll now as well. So again, any number would be good. Danger or silence would be bad. Danger again. That's how this game goes. Okay. So I'm still in combat. Jeez Louise, this guy just won't leave me alone. And that was the end of that round. So now we come back around. Now it's my turn again. And with an 80% chance of success, surely I won't roll danger or silence a third time, right? So I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to spend this search card to move yet again to this engine room. Oh, and I get attacked again on the way out. Yikes. So this time I get claw attack, and that does have an adult on it. Okay, so the character suffers 2 light wounds and gets 1 contamination card. Ouch. So here's a contamination card. That's starting to become problematic. And then 2 light wounds. 1, 2. So now I have a serious wound. So we'll get rid of this. Get rid of this tracker. Let's take a serious wound, and I've got arm. The character has only 1 hand slot for heavy items and objects. If they have 2 heavy items, they must instantly drop 1. Okay, we'll put my injury cards over here, I suppose. Hopefully I don't get any more of these serious wounds. So I can only hold 1. I've got an arm wound. All right, but I did get away, and now I've got a roll. Please, please. Just give me a number. Number 1 would be best. I'll take a number 1, please. 4. All right, technical corridors. So that's technical corridors. It's a mirror image of this. That's too far away because the 4 is pointing to this little red light. So any of these rooms with the little red lights, that means it's connected to these technical corridors, which are just universal. So that was 1 action. For action number 2, I'm going to use tools, and I've got to spend a card. I'm going to spend the reconnaissance card. Keep basic repairs in my hand, and I'm going to use tools to open or close 1 door in any corridor connected to the room you're in. So I'm going to close this door right here, and because of this weakness, this adult will not be able to follow me. Can't break the door, so I think that was needed. And then I've got basic repairs, so when I start my next turn, I can repair this engine. So I am passing, and we go into the event phase. This time track goes down to 6 now. There are no intruders in the same room as a character, so they don't attack. And then there's no fire in any of the rooms with the intruders, I'm sorry. Oh, and while I'm thinking of it, I never did explain what the fire control system room does. So it is malfunctioning, but normally when it's working, you can Spend two cards normally to take the room action to initiate the fire control procedure. So you choose any one room, discard a fire marker from that room if there is one, and then all intruders in that room run away in random directions determined by drawing an event card, one for each intruder. So that might be something I'd want to use if, for example, I fix this engine and then this guy ends up in the hibernatorium. Like I might want to use the fire control system to get all the intruders out of the hibernatorium. But anyway, that's just an example. So I move the tracker down. The intruders don't attack. There's no fire, so I need to draw an event card. And this says adults and breeders move through corridor 3. So this intruder is going to go through corridor 3 to the nest. This one is going to go through corridor 3 to this engine room. Good. Get away from me. And then hatching. Discard one egg from the intruder board. Any characters in the nest room whose players have no action cards left are infested by a larva. If no characters were infested, put a larva token into the intruder bag. All right, so one egg comes off the board. And then one larva token goes into the intruder bag because nobody was infected. I'm not in the nest. The nest is just a bad place to be. That's just one of the reasons. So now we have to do bag development. Let's shuffle these up a little bit. Again, this is noticeably easier now, especially with so many tokens in here, using this bag versus the bag that comes with the game. The extra room on this bag is helpful. It's not much, but it makes a difference. So let's draw a token. Just one, please. There we go. We've got a larva. Let me flip it over. It's a 1. We have one card, so no surprise attack. That's really important. Oh, what am I doing though? I'm not getting attacked by a larva. That was just bag development. But it is important that when you draw a larva, if it does attack you, anytime a larva successfully attacks you, you get a larva, basically a chest burster on your player board. It's really bad. But we're in bag development. That means when I draw this, I remove it from the bag and replace it with an adult. So here's a new adult token. Goes into the bag, shuffle it up, and that was bag development. So now I'm in a good state here. I'm injured. I've got some contamination cards. That's a problem. But I should be able to check on this engine, get it fixed, and then work my way back to the hibernatorium and get back to Earth. So let's start by drawing up. I've got one card here, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. The problem is I don't really have a way to get rid of these contamination cards. I would have to go all the way back to surgery, and that's just not going to happen from where I'm at. So I got rest, suppressive fire, interruption, and one contamination card. So the contamination cards cannot be used to pay for actions. You can't discard them until you pass. It just kind of clogs up the deck. So the first thing I'm going to do is basic repairs. I'll get rid of interruption and suppressive fire as my 2-card cost to do basic repairs. Okay. And then repair or break the engine room you're in. Now that makes it seem, the way it's worded, like you have to swap the tiles no matter what they are. But the rules are when you use a repairs action or a tools item card, take both engine tokens, secretly check their contents, and place them back in the order of your choice. You do not have to tell the truth, but you must tell if you have changed the order. So, okay, let's see what's going on here. We had a working engine. Okay, so we kind of, if I had just gone and rolled the dice, I would have not literally rolled the dice, but if I had just taken my chances, we know that this one's working and this one was working, so I would have been fine, but now we know for sure. So we've got at least 2 working engines, and that's all we need. We can have 1 damaged engine, so we don't care about that middle one. So now I just need to work my way back to the hibernatorium and go in and go to sleep, and I think I can make that happen. But for my second action, I'm going to pass because this deck only has a couple cards. It has 2 cards left. I know one of them is, I don't know. Is one of them contamination, or is that still over here? Oh, the other one's over here. Okay. Well, I've got 1 in hand, and I've got a rest card. So I'm going to hope that I draw my other contamination next turn, and then I'll use my rest action. So rest says, scan all contamination cards in your hand and remove all uninfected cards. If any of the cards were infected, follow the infection procedure. So it would hopefully allow me to get some of these out of my hand. I don't remember exactly. I think each contamination card is like a 1 in 4 chance of infection. And then if I am infected, then I really do have to get to surgery and repair it and use it and still get out of here. So I don't know. Maybe for my second action, I should just rest now with the one card I have. Yeah, actually, you know what? Let's do that. It's going to leave me with 0 cards in my hand, which I don't love. Okay, I've changed my mind again. I'm going to pass. So we're going to go into the event phase. This track goes down to 5. Time's starting to get a little tight, but we've got plenty of time to get to the hibernatorium. Getting to surgery and then getting to either the hibernatorium or an escape pod, that'll be a bigger problem. We move that down. Neither of these guys are going to attack. Neither of them take any fire damage. So now we draw an event. Adults and breeders move through corridor 4. So this guy goes this way. This guy goes back through here. Okay. And then noise and technical corridors. Place a noise marker in the technical corridor if there isn't one already there. If there is, each character in a room with a technical corridor entrance performs a noise roll. Uh-oh. All right, so I've got a roll for noise, and 3 or 4 will lead to an encounter. So I think a 1 is what I want. 3. Okay, so that's technical corridors. So let's get rid of this, and we've got an encounter. We're doing so well in the beginning. Things are happening now. So let's draw one of these tokens out of the bag. This is for the event. It's the encounter for the event. We still have bag development after this. We have an adult. Okay. So we've got 2 cards in our hand, and this is a 2. And in this case, the contamination card does still count as being a card in my hand. So I have 2 cards. So there is no surprise attack. But I do need to add an adult to the engine room now. And so I'll grab another sculpt. This one's kneeling down as well, but he's going to kind of take a swipe at me, it looks like. So no surprise attack. And we still have to do bag development. Oh, man. So I got to draw another token out of here. Oh, and that does remove the noise from all adjacent rooms, including the technical corridor where that thing came from. Or that's a little bit not accurate. I shouldn't say it came from the technical corridor. That's just where the noise was. It came from wherever. Just so I don't confuse people about things going through doors. And I drew the queen. So, okay, nobody's in the nest. So that means this goes back in the bag and I add another egg to the nest. That's good. I mean, it's not good objectively, but it does not make my situation any worse. So now I draw my hand back up to 5. Here's 1, 2. And I had 2, so there's 4. That's probably a better way of saying that. I got adrenaline, so that could be useful. Shuffle these. In a way, I kind of want another contamination card. And in another way, I don't. All right, last card, reconnaissance. So the only one that could be helpful right now is adrenaline, and that's what I'm going to use. So 0 action cost. Taking the bottom portion here, perform an escape movement action and draw an action card. So first I'm going to escape, which means I do have to get attacked again. So I draw a card and I've got transformation. Again, that only applies to creepers. So that's a miss. And now I can move. So I move here. And then let's not forget the other part, draw an action card. So now I've got another card, another search. Not very helpful right now. So let's see what room this is. Ooh, an evacuation section. I might stay there and try and get the heck out. Let's see what this exploration token is, though. So we draw from this bag. Hope it's a door. I hope it's a door. We have slime. Well, you can only have 1 slime. So 4 items in this room. So half of that is 2. You can check my math on that. So 2 items in this room. Which one is this? It's pretty far away. Evacuation, section B. Okay. So section B would be this one here. So pod number 2 is still locked. And now that I've moved, I still need to do a noise roll. So anything would be fine except for silence or danger. 2. Okay. Oh, 2 is great. So that's behind me. And I've got a couple search actions. It's a white room, so I could use the scavenger trait. I could search and maybe get some really useful stuff, but I think I'm just going to try and get the heck out of here. So for my second action, I'm going to discard search card, to use this security key, a quest item. So one use only, choose one room and close or open any doors in all corridors connected to this room. You may choose which doors to close and which to open. So I'm choosing the room I'm in, and I'm going to lock everything. So let's close that door, let's close that door, let's close that door. So now none of these adults can get into that room because of this weakness. Now it's still possible for something to spawn in that room because there is noise in that number 2 corridor. I can still get noise and have something spawn in there, and then I'll be trapped having to fight it. But I'm willing to take that risk, I think. So security key has been used. We'll just place this over here. And that was the end of that turn. So now it comes back around. I can take another turn. So I think I'm going to take this rest action now as it is. So this costs 0 cards, just the rest action. Scan all contamination cards in your hand and remove all uninfected cards. So I've only got 1 in hand. So we get to use this sweet scanner. And let's put the card in the scanner and see what it says. I don't know if you can see it. But we are safe. So it's 5 words on here, or things that look like words that all look very close to infected. It's kind of hard to tell, but none of them actually say infected. So we're not infected. If you are, the scanner's got on the back the infection procedure, but I'm not infected, so that's good, at least based on that card. And now rest says I can remove all uninfected cards. So 1 less contamination card clogging up my hand. That's a good thing. So I've got another action, and I'm going to actually just hold off. I'm going to keep 2 cards in my hand and pass. So we go into the event phase. It's looking pretty good. We advance this. None of these guys attack. There's no fire damage. So now we draw an event card and we start with movement. We have occlusion. Okay. So this would move creepers and breeders and queens, but not adults. So all the adults stay where they are. Each character with a larva on their character board dies. That one can be really rough. So if that last contamination card had been infected, I would have had to put a larva token on my character board, and this event would have immediately killed me. So I got lucky there. Now, every character draws 4 cards from their deck and scans all drawn contamination cards. If they have at least 1 infected card, put a larva on their character board, discard drawn cards. Okay, so every character draws 1, 2, 3, 4 cards from their deck and scans all drawn contamination cards. We did not draw a contamination card. If they have at least 1 infected card, put a larva on the character board, discard the drawn cards. All right, that was the event. This one's in the discard pile now. And now we do bag development. I don't want to roll a 2 because that would cause something to be in my room. And then I'd have a heck of a problem. All right, so I drew a larva, so I removed that from the bag and replace it with an adult. We're in good shape. So here's another adult token, goes in the bag here, shuffle it up, and I think I'm actually going to make it. So I've got 2 cards in hand, drop to 5. Here's 1, 2, and then I need 1 more card. So take everything else and shuffle it. And I've already got my 1 contamination card, so it doesn't really matter what this is. I should be okay based off of my plan. So draw 1 more card, suppressive fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I am going to discard interruption to use this evacuation key. So 1 use only. If you are in an evacuation section room, which I am, lock or unlock one of the escape pods in this evacuation section. So that's going to be this one, unlocks. All right, that item has been used. I discard it now. And then for my second action, I am going to spend reconnaissance and search to take the room action. So the room action for the evacuation section is try to enter an escape pod. You may perform this action only if any escape pod in the section is unlocked and has at least 1 empty space. So it is unlocked. It's got 2 empty spaces here. Each one can hold up to 2 characters. Make a noise roll. If any intruder appears in this room, your attempt to enter the escape pod fails. After resolving your noise roll, if no intruder has reached the room, place your character in one of the unlocked escape pods of that section if there's any free space. Each pod has 2 places and may accommodate up to 2 characters, as I said. You cannot enter an escape pod if any intruder is present in its corresponding evacuation section room. So all I have to do is not roll a 2. So I'll almost certainly roll a 2. There's a 20% chance of a 2. Let's do it. A 2! Oh my goodness, that's the way this always goes, isn't it? Okay, so now we have to resolve an encounter. So we remove that noise token. Isn't this just the way? Okay, so I've barricaded myself in here, and now something is going to be in here with me. What an ending this is going to be either way. Okay. Draw one of these. All right, it's going to be an adult, and I don't know if you saw it, has a 3 on the back. I've only got 2 cards in my hand, so it gets a surprise attack as well. It's got the drop on me. So here is the 4th model of the adult. So that's going to be, it's like leaning on something. That's going to be in here with me. All right, great. And let's draw an intruder attack card. All right, so I've got Frenzy. So this only applies to breeders and queens, so that's a miss. Oh, that's something, I guess. Okay, so I guess I've got no choice but to try and shoot my way out of here. And all the doors are closed, so I've got the Suppressive Fire card. Can't really use it. Man, I should have just gone to the Hibernatorium. Okay. Suppressive Fire. I'm going to spend this to take a basic shoot action. So take this this ammo cube off of my rifle. I've got 2 more, and we're going to roll this die. So we've got a 50-50 shot of doing any damage. Ooh, 2 damage. That's good. And here's a little flaw with this game. The lockdown game has little dials for each of these guys to like track the damage. This one just has little cubes that you kind of keep near them. I'm going to use this space because I'm locked in that room. We're not tracking damage anywhere else. This is damage on that particular intruder. So we draw the next intruder attack card, and then we look at the number in the top left. And it's a 6. This one's got 6 health, so we ignore the rest. So he's got 2 damage, 6 health, so we have not done enough damage. This intruder is still going. Now I can't really do anything else, so I'm going to have to pass. And I will discard that contamination card for the time being. So this goes down to a 3. Now we're in trouble. We're running out of time. We're going to get hit again. So now there is an intruder in my room. So I've got to draw an attack card. So I draw this one. Oh, it does have an adult on it, and its bite says if the character has 2 serious wounds, they die. Oh my goodness. If not, they suffer 1 serious wound. Oh man, so I got to get another serious wound. That escalated quickly, huh? So I've got a body wound. This says you draw up to 4 action cards instead of 5. Man. Okay, that hurt. Thing just took a chomp out of me. Now what? Now I need to draw an event. So we get all adults must move through corridor number 4. So this one's going to go here into the nest. This one goes back into this engine. This one, corridor 4, is the technical corridor. So this one actually comes off the board, and that means we take its token, we add it back to the bag to represent that it's still on board the ship somewhere. Then, remove from the board all intruders. Oh, I almost forgot. And then this one does not move because it's in combat, so it doesn't matter. All right, remove from the board all intruders which are not in a room with a character. Oh, okay. Put their respective tokens into the intruder bag. So I don't know why it had me move them. This one and this one leave. So I put 2 more adult tokens back into the bag. They're just looking at that guy. You know, I'm locked in this room. Like, he's got it handled. Like, we're not needed here. We're going to go take a nap. All right, so that's the event card. And now I do bag development. So I've got to draw a token out of here. Probably going to be an adult. I've been adding lots of those into here, which I don't like. Got, yep, an adult. So add it back to the bag. I've got to do a noise roll. No, actually, not true. All players who are not in combat do a noise roll. So I don't have to roll for noise. That's something. That's good. Okay, so now it's back to me. I draw up to 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards because I have body damage. Draw up to 4 cards. Scavenging, demolition, adrenaline, and basic repairs. Ooh, okay. Well, we can use adrenaline then at least. We'll start with that. Adrenaline, 0 cost. Perform a shoot action and draw an action card. So I get another card, and it's a search. Okay, that's more things I can do. So now I'm going to spend this this ammo and roll again. Let's hope I get a hit. No, that is a crawler, so that's a miss. Or a creeper, rather. I keep doing that. So for my second action, I'm going to do, I guess, a basic shoot using scavenging. So I'll do another basic attack, use this last ammo from my rifle, and I'm going to roll for the damage. Wish me luck. No, not again. Another miss. Oh, man. Okay, so that's the end of that turn. Now it comes back around to me again, and I'm going to spend this basic repairs card to use energy charge, fully load ammo in 1 energy weapon, and this rifle holds 4 ammo. So that's fully loaded. The energy charge is spent. That's gone now. And now I'm using this search card to take another shoot action. So I'm going to spend one of these ammos, and I'm going to roll one more time. And I just got to hit this thing, please. Oh, another 2. So remember, we're tracking that enemy's damage here. So blam, blam. There's 4 damage on it. That's the sound it makes, blam, blam. And we draw the next intruder attack card. We look at the top left. A 3. That's, yeah, 4 is more than 3. So we have taken out this intruder. That is exciting. So we remove the mini. We replace it with this intruder corpse token. And now what we'd really like to do is get into the escape pod, but that room action costs 2 cards and I have 1 card. So we're going to have to go through another event phase. So this ticks down to a 2. Oh my goodness. There are no invaders on the board to attack or to take fire damage. So I draw an event card, flip it. Adults, breeders, and queens would move through corridor 3. And then, oh my goodness, evacuation pod ejection. Launch the escape pod token with the lowest number. Oh, thank goodness. So this one that we've been trying to get in is a 2. This one is a 1. So this one launches. It is out of the game. Oh, how devastating would that be? Then remove this event from the game and reshuffle the event deck, including the discard pile. Okay? So we've got a number of discarded events here that are going back into the deck. Hopefully, this is that's the last event we're resolving, though, because I want to get the heck out of here. Send this thing to Earth and let somebody else deal with it. So here's the event deck. Now we have to do bag drawing, or bag development, rather. So pull a token out of this bag. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We have an adult, so that means I need to do a noise roll. So that goes back in the bag. Roll this. Man, don't mess me up. Don't mess me up. Unbelievable. I'm going to die. My foolproof plan is really messing me up. So I rolled danger. So I have noise in every corridor now. So if I try and roll for noise now, when I get back into that evacuation pod, I can't get in. I'm going to roll for noise and I'm going to die because something's going to attack me unless I by chance roll 1 in 5 chance I roll danger or silence, which I seem to be rolling a lot when I don't want them. I don't think I'm going to roll it when I want it. So that is just devastating. So, all right, draw up to 4 cards now because I still have that body damage. 1 is rest. Shuffle these. 2 more cards. I'll probably get a contamination card while I'm at it. 3 and 4. Okay, demolition, rest, scavenging, basic repairs. Can I make something work here? There's just too much noise here. Man, all right, I am going to spend demolition, 0 cost, destroy 1 closed door in a corridor connected to the room you're in. I'm going to destroy this door. Let me back out. Things have gone terribly. There we go. A destroyed door. Blam. I'll just put that there. I broke it. And now I'm going to spend 2 cards to do a careful move. I'm going to move from there into here. Going for the hibernation now. Ooh, the canteen. Okay. We'll explore it. So we draw from the bag. We get... can't resolve that one. So it wants me to close a door. But I just broke that door, so I can't do that. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay. And then the room action in the canteen, which I'm not going to be taking, is you can heal 1 light wound, and you may choose to scan all contamination cards in your hand. And then you remove the infected ones, and if you have larva on your character board and you're infected, then you die. So there you go. That was a careful move. I'm going to add a noise token here. Or no, I can do the technical corridor. That's even better. Let's... is that better? Does it matter? 2, 3, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll do here. We'll do 2. Okay, that was 2 actions, and now it comes back around. I am going to spend this card. It kind of makes me nervous, but I'm going to spend basic repairs to use bandages, and I can dress 1 serious wound. I'm going to dress this body wound, so I just flip it over. I still have the wound, but the effect no longer applies. So I can draw 5 cards next time, which I really hope I don't need, because then I'll certainly die, because time's running out. But now I pass. So this goes down to a 1. No invaders on the board, no intruders on the board. So I draw an event card, and we have, oh boy, we have damaging fire. Man, these can really wreck your game. So place a malfunction marker in each room with a fire marker. Oh man, it's a good thing there's no fires right now because I'm low on malfunctions. Place a fire marker in each room neighboring a room with a fire marker. That's what kills you. Fire spreads fast. Fire does not spread through closed doors or technical corridors. So that's a rough card. I dodged a bullet there. So now I do bag development. I gotta draw 1 from this bag. And we have a larva, so we replace it with an adult. Okay, it's pretty full of adults at this point, but that means I don't need to roll, so that's important. Now this is going to be my last turn, so I draw up to 5 cards because my body wound is dressed. 4, 5, there's 2 remaining there. I've got 1 contamination card. All right, search, contamination, interruption, and reconnaissance. Okay. Ooh, that's important. Okay, I'm doing reconnaissance, which is going to cost me 1 card. I'll use interruption. So I spend that. Now I can move to any neighboring room without making a noise roll. Really helpful. So I go here. There's no noise around the hibernatorium. Now I can use the room action. I have 2 cards left, and the room action here is try to hibernate. So you spend 2 cards. You may perform this action only if the hibernation chambers are open, meaning we're past this blue line here, which we're well past now, and the token on the time track is on any blue space. Or sorry, I phrased that funny. It says you may perform this action only if the hibernation chambers are open, meaning the token on the time track is on any blue space. Okay, that's what I said. Then perform a noise roll. If any intruder shows up in this room, your attempt at entering the hibernation chamber has failed. If no intruder appears, remove your character miniature from the game. You manage to hibernate safely. Then note you cannot change the destination or start the self-destruct sequence when any of the characters are already hibernating. So, okay, I spend my 2 action cards, these 2 search cards, and now I need to roll for noise, and that is going to be okay no matter what. So we got a 1, so we add a noise here, and no intruder showed up, so now we are hibernating. And that's it. We're at the end of the game, which is good because I had no action cards left, and this would have ended the game anyway. So when you get here, the ship tries to jump into hyperspace regardless of what everyone's doing. And anyone not hibernating dies. The engines might explode. You might not be going to Earth. So let's go through the endgame check. So step 1 is the engines check. If the ship survived up to this moment, meaning that it hasn't blown up, then its engines are checked. Reveal the top engine token of the 3 engines. If 2 or 3 of the top engine tokens are damaged, the ship explodes and all the hibernating characters die. Everything else on board also dies, including all the intruders. So I know at least 2 of these are working. Engine 1 is working and engine 3 is working. Out of curiosity, engine 2, working. They're all working. Okay. So that means only this one was damaged when the game started. So I could have just ignored them completely and hibernated, and I would have been totally fine and avoided a lot of that struggle. But next is the coordinates check. If the ship survived up to this moment, reveal the coordinates card and check the current space of the destination marker. If the ship is not headed toward Earth, all characters asleep in the hibernatorium die. One exception is if your objective is to go to Mars and it's going to Mars, then you live. And instant death due to destination other than Earth does not apply to intruders, and it does not destroy the ship. And yeah, when I played this game on my channel a long time ago, I think I was playing under the impression that going to somewhere other than Earth would destroy the ship, but that is not the case. So we already did this. We remember that Earth was destination B, and that's where we're going. So the engines are working. We're going to Earth. So now we need to do a contamination check. Each living character, either asleep in the hibernation or evacuated in an escape pod, checks their contamination cards. The player uses a scanner to check all contamination cards in their action deck, discard pile, and hand. If there are no infected cards, and we stop there. If there's an infected card, then there's more steps. So I believe I just have the one contamination card. None here, and I don't think there's any in my discard pile. I think I only ever gained 2, and I got rid of one of them. Okay, one contamination card. Let's scan it. So we get our scanner, put this in here. Again, I don't know if this will be visible on camera or not. You can zoom in if you like, but that card is also not infected. That's good. I'll read the procedure just if you're curious. So if at this point at least one card was infected, or if you have a larva on your player board already, then you shuffle all of your cards, both your action cards and your contamination cards, to create one big deck, and then you draw the top 4 cards. If there is at least one contamination card, infected or not, the character dies. Otherwise, they're lucky to survive. And then the last step is the objective check. So each player whose character is still alive at this step must check if they accomplish their chosen objective. They all reveal their objective card to the other players and check if they have met all the requirements. So my objective was Destination Earth. The ship must reach Earth, and it has. The whole ship is intact and it's going to Earth. So that's it. I won a game of Nemesis. That is definitely in the minority. I frequently lose this game, but I generally have a pretty good time doing it. Sometimes it can be very short, though, and that can be a little frustrating. But as I mentioned at some random point in the video, this is a game for me that's way more about the journey and less about the destination. It's not about so many games that I play are about, like, you're trying to get points and get a certain amount of points or get the most points or more points than something else or more points than you've gotten in previous games or what have you. And that's totally fine. I enjoy that mechanism, but this is a very different thing. There are a lot of random elements to this, from flipping the tiles over to, whether the engines are working, the destination, what objective cards you get. You're constantly rolling, for noise, for damage. It's a very random game, which means there's a lot that's not under your control, and it's fairly stacked against you as the player. So you can't just be trying. You want to try and achieve your objective. That's the point, right? But you can't measure the value of the game on whether or not you've achieved the objective. I can lose this game and have a good time. It's just about the process. So if you embrace that, this can be a really fun game. But otherwise, it's very different than a lot of the other stuff I play on my channel. And I understand if it's not for everyone, that's fine. But for what it is, I think it's one of, if not the best games in this type of genre. I have a really good time playing it. Now, going forward, I think I'm going to try and play this two-handed solo with 2 characters, because the character interaction can create a lot of fun, even if you're playing fully co-op. So I think I'm going to try and do that on the channel going forward. We'll see how it goes. The scout tends to play pretty well as true solo, but not every character does, and you get some kind of wasted cards. And even playing this way, which card is it? The interrupt card is not in those. The interrupt card is kind of totally wasted. Where is it? I don't know. I lost it somewhere. It's kind of totally wasted in true solo because you don't have any other characters to interrupt. So it's just, I don't know, you kind of burn it, and that's what it is. But anyway, I intend to play a lot more Nemesis over the coming months, and I want to show you the different expansions that I have. Now, I did not order the 3rd installment in this series, Nemesis Reconnaissance, I believe it's called. No, not Reconnaissance, Nemesis Retaliation. That's what it is. Wrong R word. Nemesis Retaliation. I did not order it. Nemesis and Nemesis Lockdown are pretty similar. Lockdown's a little bit more fiddly, believe it or not, fiddlier than this, and there's more rules overhead, so it's more complicated, but it does some cool things, but it operates largely in the same way. And so the characters that are in Lockdown and the characters that are in Nemesis and in the Aftermath expansion to Nemesis, you can even swap them between each other. There's ways to do it. Some of it's a little bit convoluted, but you can use all those same characters and mix and match. Retaliation is really going to deviate from this format where you don't have a main board, I don't believe, but you do have tiles that are sort of different shapes, and you've got corridors, and you're building the map as you go. This is sort of build as you go, but not quite in the same manner, because all the corridors are fixed. In this new one, it seems like you're building corridors too, and you kind of can control the shape of the map. And the play is very different. It's less claustrophobic, it seemed to me, because the intent is it's more like if this game is Alien the movie. Lockdown is also Alien the movie. And then Retaliation is Aliens, like it's the Space Marines one, right? So this is a group of characters that's going in to the situation knowing what they're getting into. And so it plays differently. It's not so much a survival horror as it is like, I don't know, maybe slightly more tactical combat. So it's going to be, I think, swarms of enemies, and you've got bigger weapons and more access to weapons. So the challenge is just going to be different. It didn't appeal to me, and that's okay. But it seems very popular. It appealed to a lot of people, that's for sure. So I won't be playing that on the channel because I didn't order it and it's not coming. But those are my plans for Nemesis right now. So let me know what you think in the comments. And if that's something you're looking forward to, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss it. If you like this video, please consider leaving a like. I would appreciate it. Share it with somebody else who might enjoy it. And don't forget, you can always head over to my Ko-fi page, ko-fi. There's a link in the description. You could drop me a couple bucks. It helps to keep the channel running. It's really helpful and very much appreciated. It is the primary revenue method of this channel at the moment. So that was Nemesis. That's what I've got for you this time. Thank you so much for watching. I had an awesome time playing. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I will see you in the next video.